So now moving right along, I'd like to welcome up Tina Weinstein. She will be presenting on behalf of her team that was working with the Office of Sustainability in Ithaca, New York, and their advisor was Eileen McGinnis.
It works. All right. Good evening, everyone. My name is Tina Weinstein, and I am presenting tonight on behalf of the Electrifying Ithaca Capstone Group. Our client this semester was the City of Ithaca's Office of Sustainability. Tonight, I'll share a bit about our project overview, our data collection process, our key findings and recommendations to the client, as well as our learnings from the semester. Let's get started. This is my wonderful team. We're led by our project manager, Bridget Keeler, and deputy August Schwanauer. Our faculty advisor is Eileen McGinnis. In 2019, our client, the City of Ithaca's Office of Sustainability, passed a climate action plan called Ithaca's Green New Deal. And our project focuses on one component of that plan, called Electrifying Ithaca, the city's commitment to fully decarbonize its entire building stock, 6,000 buildings, residential and commercial, by 2030. In 2021, the City of Ithaca released an RFP seeking a program manager, and a consortium led by Block Power, a Brooklyn-based electrification startup, was selected as the winning bidder. The program itself is in the early stages, with only one project expected to be completed by the end of this year or early next year, and all 6,000 projects to be completed by 2030. The program is significant for several reasons. Ithaca is the first city to commit to fully decarbonizing its entire building stock. If successful, it's estimated that it will require around $600 million. For reference, residential projects cost an average $40,000, and commercial projects are expected to cost an average $100,000. This is all particularly interesting, considering that the population of the City of Ithaca is just shy of 32,000 people. For reference, that's actually equivalent to about the student body of Columbia University, if you count undergrad, grad, and postgrad combined. So we have a small city taking on an ambitious and innovative electrification project. The program is also nationally significant and acting as a laboratory of learning for demonstration for the future. It's a test of large-scale electrification project implementation, and other cities are already looking to them to learn more. The program is also unique due to its financing structure, taking in both public and private investment. The private investment enables more budget for this program. Considering the ambitious goals, as well as the unique program structure, it's no surprise that Ithaca has received a lot of attention for this program. The Office of Sustainability has received numerous requests from other cities and regions seeking to set goals of their own, as well as learn from this groundbreaking work. And that's where we come in. The Office of Sustainability doesn't have the resources to both succeed in their own climate action plans and help others to do the same. This semester, we're able to support them by creating a white paper summarizing the program for internal and external stakeholder understanding. We put ourselves in the shoes of city planners, asking ourselves questions to determine how we would replicate this project in other cities, and answering those questions throughout our paper. Questions include, how would we pay for this? How would we manage? And how would we implement such a large-scale project? Our white paper also includes illustrations of key components of the program, including financing diagram, customer journey, and technology suite. We've also made recommendations for strategies for community engagement to increase program participation. In order to provide a comprehensive deliverable for our client this semester, we had to collect a lot of data. And I'm pleased to report that since the midterm briefing, we have spoken with many stakeholders. I'll highlight just a few of them. We really enjoyed speaking with Block Power, who shared their perspective as program manager. In addition, we spoke with Con Ed, who shared their perspective as a utility and highlighted incentive programs that programs like Ithaca's Electrifying Ithaca program can take advantage of. In addition, we spoke with the New York State Research and Development Authority, also known as NYSERDA, who shared with us information about their Loan Loss Reserve Fund program, which I'll refer to going forward as the LLR. The LLR provides investment for clean energy project financing in New York State. We also enjoyed speaking with the Cornell University Co-op Extension, a local organization educating Ithaca residents on environmental initiatives, including electrification. One of the key questions that the City of Ithaca gets asked is, how does this all work? Well, it's actually pretty simple. Building owners can work directly with Block Power, who are a centralized point of contact for them. They can sign up online, fill out an intake form, and receive an instant project recommendation report, followed up by an energy audit. Highlighted here are all of our key technologies from Ithaca's RFP. Building owners work with Block Power to determine how they'd like to move forward for their particular building. They have full flexibility and transparency into the cost. Block Power acts as a streamlined solution from beginning through program participation. Another big question that the city of Ithaca gets asked is, how does the financing structure work? Highlighted here is a simplified version of the financing diagram included in our white paper. So let's take a look at how it works. We really see the city of Ithaca as a catalyst for large-scale electrification. Through their RFP, they've brought in Block Power, the program manager. They oversee the projects, act as a preferred provider, and provide the financing for this large-scale program. The Block Power-led consortium provides lease financing to building owners, and that lease is made possible through the LLR fund. The LLR fund is financed by NYSERDA and the Kresge Foundation, a philanthropic investor. That's important because that LLR fund offers risk mitigation on lease defaults, and that enables Block Power to offer larger loans to a broader set of customers. Building owners can also help bring down costs through public incentive programs. In addition, Block Power brings down costs further through bulk purchasing agreements for electrification equipment. So with all that being said, I'll now highlight a handful of the community engagement recommendations from our white paper. These are for the city of Ithaca, as well as other cities looking to implement similar large-scale electrification projects. We recommend partnerships with contractors and outreach to increase incentive programs and awareness of those programs. We also recommend strong and transparent partnerships with community groups and NGOs. And that can take many different forms. And one recommendation is to form neighborhood champion community groups. These help increase awareness throughout the community. City planners can also increase engagement through town halls, stakeholder interviews, and workshops. We also recommend deploying a dashboard to track project progress. Overall, we see that there's a need to communicate the program with a strong value proposition that's meaningful to all demographics of the community. Our team has spent some time over the past couple of weeks reflecting on this experience. As sustainability leaders, we expect that we will lead similarly complex and large projects in our future. Here are some of the learnings we'll take with us going forward. The importance of partnerships to program success, as highlighted by many of our key recommendations. The importance of maintaining internal and external stakeholder support. Several members of City of Ithaca's City Council have expressed concern over the project's progress. In addition, the Director of Sustainability has recently resigned due to a lack of support from the city. We've also learned the importance that policy plays in driving outcomes. We see this in the passing of Ithaca's Green New Deal and the NYSERDA LLR Fund, which is actually unique to New York State, meaning that other cities and states looking to replicate this may not be able to take advantage of the same policy structure that this program did. We're also excited about the recent passing of the IRA bill, which encourages more clean energy investment and provides more financing for programs like this. We've learned that it's difficult to plan for the unexpected. Implementation is messy, and there are market conditions outside of an individual or department's control that can impact success. We've also learned that there are trade-offs to how you design a program. Electrify Ithaca set a very ambitious target, and now everyone's watching them. But on the flip side, a pilot program wouldn't generate the same financing that's needed for this program to be successful. And last but not least, we've learned that there is no one-size-fits-all to electrification. We hope that our work this semester will serve as a resource and guide for much-needed decarbonization work in cities around the world. But we also appreciate how challenging this can be. With that, I'd like to thank the City of Ithaca's Office of Sustainability for being a great client this semester. This work has been very meaningful for us. In addition, we'd like to thank our faculty advisor, Eileen McGinnis. And with that, I'll open the floor to any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. I was just wondering, what were the different funding streams for this project? Because I'm wondering if that will have an impact on its replicability, if it's primarily private donors. Just wondering about that.
Yeah, let's take another look at that financing diagram. All right, so there's quite a few different streams of financing to hit that $600 million needed in order to support the program scale. The key form of financing that I think is important to understand is that Block Power is offering leases to building owners to provide electrification upgrades. So the building owner is just paying Block Power each month over like a 15-year period. So it's a pretty long length. And the financing for that lease that Block Power offers, or there's also other private investors involved. There's a firm called Alturas that as the program's in the early stages, the idea is that they would probably take on the commercial leases and Block Power might be focused on residential. But overall, the financing for those leases comes through the LLR fund, which, as I mentioned, is a combo of NYSERDA and this philanthropic investor, the Kresge Foundation. And in addition, the public incentives, so Block Power has these bulk purchasing agreements, and then building owners can also apply for incentives. The main incentive I know of from the IRA that's also helping this is going to be the discount on point of sale for heat pumps. I think it's $8,000 rebate that they'll be able to take advantage of, which will help dramatically bring the cost down as well.
Hi, thank you. Are there any concerns about Block Power's capacity to complete all 6,000 projects if they've only done 3, so like 800 plus a year for the next 7 years?
I would say that's out of the scope of this project. We really looked at opportunities for replication and looked at how can you have electrification in other cities that don't already have this set up. But it's a good question.
Thank you very much for your presentation. With the involvement of private investors, there's presumably some sort of return that they're looking for. I'm just wondering if you looked into the relationship between kind of priorities of the involvement of like a private investor group and comparing that to some sort of equity element within the community itself. Some sort of, are we assuming kind of an alignment of priorities between building owners, especially in a city that has, from my understanding, kind of a lot of income disparity between, Cornell residents and staff versus full-time residents?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I'm glad you brought up the equity component. So the financing structure is designed in a way to bring the cost of lease down as much as possible, to remove barriers or to minimize the barriers for entry. But of course, when you are talking about equity, that's not necessarily enough for all of the residents. So this program and the Green Action, the Green New Deal was all designed with equity in mind. What's interesting is that once the program got started, they realize that the grid capacity isn't what it needs to be in a lot of the communities where there are LMI buildings or LMI neighborhoods. And there's a lot of renovations that are going to be required to be done before those communities are going to be able to have electrification upgrades. But I think that really shows us how important planning is and how it's also this like chicken and egg scenario, right? So we want to have full decarbonization. We need both electrification infrastructure in place, but then also the right transmission lines and the right sources of grid energy. So it's very complex, which is why this project is so interesting. And I hope that they can find a way to bring those communities in to the forefront as originally planned. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. I'd now like to introduce Allison Reeser, and their client was One Nature, and their advisor was Dr. Bob Cook. Allison?